Hi, I'm Trisha Peach, host of the Peach Buzz. I'm so glad you came back to see us again this week. And if I look a little tired, it's because I am. I was at Assemblies of God District Council this week. We had a wonderful time. I just about sold out of books. I ended up with only 2 left, and I brought a whole bunch. So that was exciting. Thank you to everybody that really supported my booth there. Today we're talking about something really important, why you need to have a project for your kids or your student ministries, kids church. Why is that so necessary? All the studies have shown that this generation that we're ministering to right now, which by the way is known as Gen Alpha. Now the older youth group, that's more Gen Z. But both Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they have this really great wish, this need to be involved, and they are used to doing things for charity, for at their school, through 4-H. So why shouldn't they be doing these things for Jesus? And the problem is, if you don't provide places for them to serve, if you don't, they'll find somewhere else where they can, because they want to do. These are generations that do not want to just hear it. They want to do. And this is a good thing that we need to be leaning into, not avoiding. Back in my day, when I was a kid growing up, it was more the sage on the stage. So we would say and they would do. That is not the generation we minister to now. They want the guide on the side. So they want to be able to do the work of the ministry. And I've talked about the best way to grow your kids' ministries to let them serve. Now, what I'm talking about today is more an outreach project, that kind of giving. What do I mean by that? In the past, our church has packed meals for overseas for hungry families and then shown videos of the meals that these kids have packed with their families being passed out, which the kids were just mesmerized. We had a big crate that we asked them to fill with clothes, and I tell you what, these kids did it. They filled it floor to ceiling with clothes, and we sent that over for many, many, many orphans in Africa, Kenya, and Swaziland. We had a challenge for hungry families. We asked every kid to bring in many boxes of macaroni and cheese. We had just piles and piles of macaroni and cheese. What I realized was these kids want to serve. They want to do something, and they will rise to the bar you set for them. So if you expect really great things of them, they will rise to that challenge and they will blow you away. I was shocked by what these kids could accomplish. They can do so much more than we think they can. As it's been said, 100 years ago, 16-year-olds were leading armies. Now we don't expect much of anything from them, try to protect them from everything. We need to really challenge our kids more, challenge our teenagers more to get involved. I like challenging our kids to give more to Convoy of Hope, BGMC, Speed the Light. We saw a lot of that at District Council just now. A lot of churches will take on a missionary and support that missionary. The kids' church will support that missionary. Whatever it is, I always want to tell our kids, you are not the church of tomorrow, you are the church of right now, and whatever our church is involved in, you are involved in. So if our church is raising money for the homeless, we are helping raise money for the homeless. If our church is giving gifts for Christmas to kids that are in prison ministry, we do that sometimes through Angel Tree, then our kids' church is going to do something to be a part of that. And I love it if our kids' church can, sometimes they've challenged the adults, because the adults are like, okay, to me it's kind of like the widow's mite. You know, the adults are giving out of their abundance what little they have, and these kids are giving it all because they're so passionate and they want to help and they want to change the world. And as I said, if we don't give them an outlet for that, they will just go find another place that they can serve and change the world. These kids are going to change the world. The question is just how. I would say another suggestion would be, my only problem with picking an overseas project is for kids, if they can't see it and touch it, then it's kind of not real to them. It's a story far, far away. I was able to go over to Swaziland and see our meals passed out so I could come back and say, hey, I saw this happen, and here's pictures of me passing out your meals. And I think that made it more real to them. So what I would suggest is doing something that the kids can see as tangible. One great thing that our elementary coordinator did was she had the 4th and 5th grade clean the whole church. And I thought, are you kidding me? Nobody's going to show up for this, is what I'm thinking. I was wrong. They all showed up and they loved every minute of it. They were washing the windows, they're vacuuming. They're like, this is our church. They were so excited, and it was tangible. They could see the results of what they were doing. Another church I heard of, they picked a park and they went and cleaned that park top to bottom. And these kids were loving it because they got to bless their neighborhood. They got to be a part of their neighborhood and a part of what was going on, and it was tangible and they could see it. If you are supporting an overseas missionary, just your kids' church, make sure you have that missionary personally come in at some point, so that to these kids it's not just way far away somewhere out there in the ethos. You want it to be very tangible. I suggest, if you are having, say, a pie night for the homeless for Thanksgiving, think about, is it a safety issue to have the kids help serve the pie, or show them a video of their pies being handed out, that kind of thing. We bring people in every year for our pie thing, and it's not just, it's anyone that wants pie, anyone that eats pie, everyone that eats pie, and we eat pie together. And I think these kids love being a part of that, so we're one church. But what ideas do you have for getting your kids involved? We got to do this. This is crucial. We have to have ways to get involved. For kids, they need to see it, hear it, do it, and of course what they're going to remember the most is when they teach it. They need to teach it. They need to do it. This is walking out our faith. This is not being hearers of the word, but doers. And sometimes we're thinking they'll do this at 18. People at 18, they're already gone. They're gone. They've moved on to whatever else, and hopefully they didn't leave the church behind in the dust. Get them involved. Get them involved in whatever is going on. Here are some clips from District Council, one clip that I have from District Council, so you can see how tired I look in this next clip. But I talk about a good project that you may want to consider, Convoy of Hope. And also, Convoy of Hope right now is feeding kids in Guatemala, and oh my goodness, just amazing videos of what's being done there. And I link to that in the next clip. Thank you guys for what you do for Jesus and his kids. I'll see you next week on the Peach Buzz. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Hi all, I'm Trisha Peach, host of the Peach Buzz, and I am here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin at the Assemblies of God District Council. You might be able to see there's a drawbridge behind me. The sun is in my eyes, sorry. This drawbridge is up, which I think is kind of neat. Let the ships go underneath. District Council's been going great. I'm loving it. One problem, I was going to show you my newest book, Psalms the Deep Dive, and they sold out. In fact, I brought a lot of my books, and I have 2 books left. My first one, Your Children's Ministry from Scratch, and my Christmas musical. All my other books sold. I have none left. So, if you're here at District Council and you were bummed, some of you wanted the thesis or the Psalms, check down here. Here's a link to Amazon for Psalms the Deep Dive, and I'll put a link to my thesis as well. I have loved District Council. It's been wonderful. It's always like a reunion. We get to see people that we know. It's beautiful. The sun is shining. It is a balmy 40 degrees today, which for us, that's pretty nice and warm. I have really loved the speakers. One of the speakers has been Convoy of Hope. And I wanted to mention their project this year. They are feeding children in Guatemala. And they were talking about feeding a child and educating a child. So they're asking churches to pledge. I'm going to put a link to Convoy of Hope here if you would like to give to Convoy of Hope and to take a look at their projects this year, which are just fantastic. The chance to feed a child. And one of the quotes that really stuck with me, the speaker last night said he was in Zambia 2 weeks ago, and he was asking the question of the pastor from that church there in Zambia, and he said, what God do these children believe in now? And he said, whatever God is feeding them. Whatever God feeds them. So we go in to feed these kids. It's usually the only meal they get every day. They can count on that, and then we share the message of Jesus Christ after they've been able to eat every day and depend on that food. So if you'd like to help with Convoy of Hope, they do a lot of other things like disaster relief. They went in after Hurricane Dorian. They were there when I was in the Bahamas. I'm telling you, Convoy of Hope is fantastic organization. But if you'd like to learn more about how they're feeding these kids in Guatemala and providing education, click on down below. But if you didn't get to see me at District Council, I'm sorry I missed you. And some people wanted a copy of Why Pastors Leave Ministry. I sold out, but I'm so happy that I got to see a lot of you and give a lot of hugs. But that's what's up this week, and support Convoy of Hope if you can. Thank you so much. See you next week on the Peach Buzz.